Hey, Bastish B here for 64K and welcome to another episode of New Retro. And if you've never watched this show before, I take a look at a new game on an old system, and then we take a look at the original version, or the game that might have inspired this new version. And today's games are... So let's first take a look at the original arcade version.
Joust was released in 1982 in the arcades by Williams. The game had a bizarrely unique setting that set it apart from all the other space shooters that had invaded the arcades at that time. Game designer John Newcomer came up with a strange idea because he didn't want to put out just another generic shooter, as he felt the arcades were just overrun with them at the time. I mean, even Williams themselves had a massive hit with Defender. The game was a 1 or 2 player romp where you have these knights that ride on buzzards, and you fly around on an ostrich and try to take them out. The jousting aspect is just like traditional jousting, except the winner is determined by who hits the highest, or you can just simply jump on their heads to defeat them. When defeated, the knights turn into eggs, which you can collect for bonus points, but more importantly, collecting them means they won't rehatch back into more aggressive knights, and therefore you have to defeat them once again. Just like most arcades, you are also forced to complete waves of bad guys as quickly as possible, or the dreaded pterodactyl will attack. Going too close to the lava also at the bottom of the screen can also mean certain death, as a deadly hand will try to grab you and pull you down. The game is all about seeing how long you can last or how many waves you can survive, with each one increasing in speed and the amount of knots and obstacles that are thrown at you. It's classic early 80s arcade gaming. I was absolutely terrible at this game in the arcades as a kid. I never fully knew how to play it properly. It was only much later through video game compilations that I got to play this again and actually figure out how to play it properly and learn to enjoy it. There was also an arcade sequel in 1986 which was more of the same, but if you enjoyed the original version then this is well worth a play as well. For an easy modern way to play this classic, you can also check out the Midway Arcade Origins collection on Xbox 360 and PS3.
And now let's look at the new retro version.
In 2020, we finally got to see the release of Joust on the Commodore 64, although not officially. The story goes the game was made and completed and was going to be released on the C64 in 1984 by Atari Soft. But everyone knows the video game crash hit and Atari was hit hard, hence the game never saw the light of day. But now over 35 years later you can finally play it thanks to Ken van Mersbergen, who in the first quarter of 2020 was busy converting some old discs of a retired programmer and discovered the Joust file on there, as well as the source code for the C64 version of Popeye, which was also an arcade conversion, which leads many people to believe that whoever did the Joust conversion may have worked on Popeye as well, although nobody has been able to confirm who did the actual work. With Joust's absence in the 80s, the C64 was graced with its fair share of clones to compensate or cash in on. One that springs to mind that is quite enjoyable is called Pegasus and is totally well worth checking out. But now you can actually try the real deal out for yourself. The conversion itself is very faithful to the arcade. Simple graphics, basic sound effects, just like its big brother, and it replicates it really well. Gameplay is also very close, as I was able to use the same techniques from the arcade version to plow through waves of knights, and the creepy lava hand and the pterodactyl are all there as well. And I found that playing it in its hardest difficulty was way more fun and really makes the game shine. Overall, it's pretty good. It would have been cool though to have a rocking Sid tune playing during gameplay or even on the title screen, but then again it probably wouldn't make it the arcade. In retrospect, this would have been another great arcade conversion under Atari Soft's belt, much like Jungle Hunt or Moon Patrol, but at least we finally got to play it. The game is currently available to download for free from csdb.dk, and I'll leave a link in the description to it, so there's no reason not to try out this long lost gem.
And thanks for joining me, Bastish B at 64K. I hope you had a good time. If you can like and subscribe, that'll be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.